Hey guys, welcome to The Young Voice. Today we're talking about something that's honestly been all over the news the past 2 weeks, the US government shutdown. Today I'm going to be talking about what it actually means, why it happens so often, and how it affects regular people like us. A lot of people hear government shutdown and just think it's some big political drama in Washington, but it actually impacts millions of Americans in really serious ways, from federal workers not getting paid to public programs being delayed or completely stopped. So let's start with what a government shutdown even is. Basically, Congress has to pass funding bills every year to keep the government running. That means money for federal agencies, programs, national parks, airports, and even food safety inspections. So if they can't agree on those spending bills before the deadline, the government literally runs out of money to operate. So non-essential services shut down until Congress figures it out. And essential services like the military, border security, and air traffic control keep going, but even those workers might not get paid until after it's over. So the main reason we're facing another shutdown right now comes down to political fighting in Congress, specifically between far-right Republicans in the House and Democrats in the Senate and White House. House Speaker Mike Johnson has been under pressure from conservative Republicans who want huge spending cuts and policy changes, basically like stricter immigration enforcement and cuts to social programs, while Democrats are pushing to protect things like healthcare, education funding, and climate initiatives. And instead of finding a middle ground, Congress has been stuck in this loop of short-term stopgap bills just to buy more time, which is why this threat keeps coming back every few months. Now, this fight isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about priorities. Republicans in the House are demanding spending cuts that would reduce funding for programs like SNAP, which is the Food Assistance Program, housing support, and even public health services. Democrats argue that these programs are crucial for working families, especially after COVID and the inflation, and that cutting them would hurt low-income Americans the most. On top of that, Democrats have been pushing for more investments in things like renewable energy, education, and healthcare access, while Republicans want to focus on reducing the deficit. And though critics say that their proposed cuts tend to hurt social programs more than corporate tax breaks. So when a shutdown actually happens, the effects are everywhere. And you may not notice this, but hundreds of thousands of federal workers get furloughed, meaning they are forced to stay home without pay. National parks close, passport and visa applications get delayed, and small businesses that rely on government contracts lose money. And if it drags on long enough, even airport security lines get longer because TSA agents aren't getting paid. And here's the thing, even though workers eventually get back pay once the shutdown ends, contractors and low-wage employees often don't, which makes the financial hit even worse for them. And it's not just government workers who get hit either. Every day the government is shut down, the U.S. economy loses hundreds of millions of dollars in productivity. The last major shutdown, which lasted 35 days under the Trump administration in 2018 to 2019, the cost economy around $11 billion, and about $3 billion of that money the country never got back. Small towns near federal offices or national parks often lose tourism and businesses. And it's wild that Congress keeps letting this happen when everyone knows it's expensive and disruptive. But honestly, this whole situation says a lot about how divided our government has become. Democrats have been trying to pass budgets that reflect modern priorities, like things that are affordable, healthcare, climate action, education, and helping working families. But hardline conservatives have been using shutdown threats as a leverage to force spending cuts or policy concessions, almost like holding the government hostage. But that's not really how democracy is supposed to work. Compromise used to be a normal part of politics, but now it feels like the Congress is more interested in scoring political points than solving real problems. Like, this isn't a game. And here's the part people our age should really pay attention to. This stuff directly affects us. College grants, federal research funding, internships, and job programs all depend on the federal budget. When there's a shutdown, these things freeze. Even the economy slowing down from these fights can make it harder for young people like us to find jobs or get affordable housing. Plus, the bigger picture here is about what kind of government we want in the future, which is one that works together to actually solve problems, or one that constantly stalls because of political games. So yeah, A government shutdown might sound like something far away in DC, but trust me, it's not. It's truly a reflection of how divided our country has become and how political extremes are making it harder for real progress to happen. Now, I personally think it's time for leaders, especially Republicans in the House, to stop using shutdowns as bargaining chips and start focusing on what Americans actually need, which is stability, fair funding, and solutions. But hey, I'm not naming any names. And if you found this helpful, please make sure to subscribe because I'm going to keep breaking down more political and current events like this in a way that actually makes sense and connects to our generation. But if you're not really towards that political side, you don't need to worry because I will be talking about other topics in the world around us. Bye.